You got a picture there, Dave?
The Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. We have this match here between Korey Dropkin and Brad Gushue here from the YNCU Curling Center in Sault Ste.Marie. I'm Dave Schmel. I'm joined by Jim Nix today. And Jim, I think we're in for a good fight today.
Yeah, I think it should be interesting. It's sort of have the wily veteran of many years of curling with Gushue and somebody who's not new anymore on the scene, but it's still pretty young and pretty new relative to Gushue. So and has proven to be able to win at the highest levels as well. So I think it should be a great game.
Absolutely. Korey Dropkin, obviously from the U.S. in the U.S.'s high performance program. Originally from the Boston, Massachusetts area, now up in Duluth, Minnesota. From the Broomstones Curling Club. His third, Andrew Ste.Marie, settling into the hack. Second is Mark Fenner, and the lead is Thomas Howell. Here we see Ste.Marie firing away. That stone goes away with no problem. And of course, Team Gushue. Yeah, Mark Nichols, the longtime third. Adam Casey throwing the lead rocks right now, and Jeff Walker throwing second, or at least that's what they did earlier today. Believe they're still doing that. Didn't catch the beginning of the game. We were waiting for our feed to come up.
Yeah, Adam had a bit of an injury last week.
His team Gushue with it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I was just going to say he had a bit of an injury, and he was unable to use his arm as good as he should. So he didn't do a lot of sweeping, but he certainly looks recovered. I've seen enough of games in the last couple of games that they played that he's going full out for sure.
Absolutely.
I would expect if we don't have any rollouts that we'll see a series of just hits to the end of this end at this point. So.
So Mark Nichols was able to call his last game, and he was on point with his takeouts, especially the up-waiters. They were fantastic.
Yeah, he's just a super solid player. He did a good job at skip, too, when Gushue got hurt a few years ago and missed a fair bit of a season. And Mark went in and skipped, and they didn't really seem to be that much worse for wear for that.
We're still trading hits here in the first end. Both teams finding their way here. That one goes away with no problem. Now Gushue already over at the other end. Knowing what's coming, both teams willing to bank a little bit of time here in the early going. This game is on the clock. Not many of our cash spiels are. But this one certainly is because, well, frankly, there's a lot of cash in the line. $106,000 in the purse this weekend. And not surprisingly, that's brought out a lot of the talent.
Yeah, that's a big number for bonspiels anywhere in the world. And like I say, apart from the slams, I'm not sure there's anybody that's offering anywhere close to that kind of money. There might be an event somewhere that is, but be very, very few and far between. That's for sure.
So certainly thank all the sponsors, especially Henderson Metals and Kioti Tractors, for helping to put that purse together. So here's Korey Dropkin, the Massachusetts native. With his ball cap on like always.
He needs to get by that one. You know, he's by easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good effort.
And now Gushue with his final stone's going to look for the blank. Figure he can see about half that stone.
Yeah, I think that would be about right. Certainly, and from that hack, maybe even a touch more than half, but he looks pretty good.
Final stone on the way, and the blank attempt is made. First end in the books. We'll be back after this from Sault Ste.Marie.
Well,
And we're back here in Sault Ste.Marie. And number 2, Brad Gushue still with the hammer here. Scoreless game. Dave Schmel with Jim Nix. This match between Gushue and Dropkin. Adam Casey throwing the lead rocks this week. He is the alternate on this team as they await their new arrival, Brendan Botcher. Comes just under the center guard. Thomas Howell brings this around right up to the face of the shot rock and taps it back just a little bit. So Gushue's going to like to come on down and increase the stack here. And
yeah, it's a pretty typical kind of start for these teams that they'll do this a lot in the first 3 or 4 shots and then sort out who has an advantage and who doesn't and what needs to be done to make that happen. So, yeah, not uncommon at all. It's going to move a long ways, but it will.
Yeah, we've seen tremendous finish on these stones. They were textured overnight. So now it's the 4th game on the rocks since they've been textured. So probably evening out just a touch, but still curling a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised to hear that because I thought, well, they probably did them just before the event started, and that seemed really early to have to do them again or choose to do them again. But anyway, curlers like to curl.
Well, isn't that what the late great Shorty Jenkins used to say? The game is called curling.
That's right. Yeah. That's a nice shot there.
Absolutely. Lee's Dropkin line 2. They should have an angle here for the double if they so choose.
Yeah, it looks like it's about a half a rock double, and I would expect that they would go after this.
Jeff Walker.
Not throwing a ton of weight.
Casey on this hard. On the one, they're going to roll on over. Does the other one clear? It doesn't, but look at where that rock just sits. Pretty well buried. Maybe half exposed, but not too bad.
Yeah, it's a good shot because it puts it, even if Korey's team makes the takeout, they're probably going to flop a little bit towards the other yellow, so it offers up the double for Gushue after this shot. Jeff hit it about exactly where he had to, so obviously they weren't going all out to make the double, or he would have thrown it harder.
Saw a couple instances earlier today where, this one's going to wreck off the hand of Fenner and drift into the 12-foot. So that one got away from them just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit soft and a little bit light, I think.
Yeah, but we saw a couple instances where it looked like some stones were overthrown a touch by the Gushue rink. So maybe a little adjustment from the skip there just to make sure he makes the better half of the shot. Because, each shot has a way to make it and a way to not make it. And as long as you're more on the good side than the bad side, you're generally okay.
Yeah.
So now it is Dropkin on the back of the button. Gushue on the top 4. He's calling for the quiet weight hit and roll from Andrew Ste.Marie. And I'll get this out of the way right away. A shout out to Aunt Sue and Uncle Bill, who are surely watching their nephew, Andrew Curl, this evening. Both members of my home club. So hello, Bill and Sue.
A good chance for Dropkin here if they can make this right to be able to be in a pretty good position. It's got a curl, though. Not going to quite do it.
Yeah, they did kill their own stone there. Now it's going to give Gushue a chance to lie 3 with hammer.
Yeah, the only saving grace for Dropkin is they should all be pretty bunched together, so he should escape or should have a chance to escape anything really dramatic in this end as far as score goes. But
yeah, I was going to mention that to you, Jim. I was wondering if you ever thought, well, they might end up with that after this. There is a way to get that stone to go the other way.
Yeah.
But that one did jump on him.
Yeah. Yeah, he won't be happy with that.
Yeah, Mark looks a little surprised there.
Yeah, a little puzzled for sure.
So opportunity back for Dropkin. And here's Ste.Marie. Fenner looking to hold the line. Now Hal's going to carve it over just a little bit.
That was nicely done.
It's edge on edge, and you see Brad Gushue calling for the hit and roll under. You have to think that's still going to be accessible for Dropkin after this stone.
Yeah. Well, this end changed around quite a bit in just a couple of shots.
Oh, it certainly did. And I just noticed that Adam Casey is wearing a Jeff Walker jersey.
Yeah.
It's a good thing he's got the hair.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd think a fifth player. I think they plan on him being the fifth player, that he'd have his own shirts, but
I'd be saying, how about me, Skipper?
yeah. Yeah.
Trying to tell me something, Skip?
Yeah.
I just kid, guys. Please take it easy in the chat before you go crazy. So Korey Dropkin with his first here. He's going to try to bury one in here and really apply the pressure to Brad Gushue. If he can get the hit and the big roll.
He's really close.
There's the hit. Do you get that perfect roll? You know what? That's pretty darn good, buddy.
Yeah, that's very good. That was a long roll. Here we see it again. Yeah, super shot. Well played, well controlled, and I don't know for sure if Gushue can make the double here, or if he just wants to make sure he gets that one off the 4-foot.
It looks like it can be made. It's surely not a gimme, though.
No.
So here's Brad Gushue with his first in the second end. Walker. Now the other Walker.
Yeah.
And they make the double and away they go. Did they get all the way out the hole? Not quite. It just hangs on to the side.
Yeah, it's surprising. I thought that was going to go all day.
So did I, buddy. I thought it was already gone.
Yeah.
So now Dropkin's going to be able to put the force on for sure here. Korey Dropkin with his final here in the second. Fenner and Hal bringing it in. You're going to try to work it over, bury it, make it as difficult as you can. Parks it pretty much right on the lid.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he has to probably move it a couple inches maybe to score. Can't quite tell where the button is there.
Does look like the pin is covered by the stone. Maybe just by a hair. So Brad Gushue is going to go to his favorite intern here. Final stone of the second end. Needs to put it on the pin, has to move this Dropkin stone just a little bit. Casey trying to work it over. It needs to curl, it needs to bend. It's going to get there, move it enough and stay there. And
one green, I think. Yeah.
Yes, it does. It's one green. They go out of the way pretty quick. So score 1 for Brad Gushue. 1-0 after 2. Here from Sault Ste. Marie. We'll be back on Curling Stadium. Usually.
Yeah.
We're back here at number 3 with a single point for Brad Gushue. And now Korey Dropkin's going to have the hammer. They're throwing the yellow stones here in the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario.
Yeah, good job by the Dropkin team forcing Gushue to 1 in that last 10, and good job by Adam Casey on Brad's last shot because he went right from release to stop, and he needed every bit of it to get it to move over and to get it together there. So good job.
Yeah, it wasn't just the curl. It needed it for the weight more than anything else, I think, buddy.
Yeah, needed it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So here is Adam Casey. On the lead stones. Former skip himself.
Yeah, I think he's played most of the positions really over the last 10 or 15 years or so, whatever it's been. My daughter went to a curling camp that he was one of the instructors on, and him and Brett Gallant were both there, and they just loved both those guys. So
that's one difference between Canadian curling and curling in the States. I had a friend of mine from Manitoba who is a member of our club, and he said, I'm a second. I've always been a second. I was trained to be a second rock.
Yeah.
And we don't get that really because a lot of times we don't have teams per se. We're just thrown together on any given day. We play all the positions pretty much all the time. Sure, yeah, people might skip more often, but the whole fact that you're trained and say, oh, you're going to be a second. Yeah, you should be a second.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to a lot of people in the States. I won't lie.
Yeah.
So I guess I get Adam Casey.
Yeah.
And right now he's going to get that rock right where it needs to be. What a brush. Well judged by the front end there.
Yeah, really good shot. I don't know. I assume that's what they were trying to do. I thought at first maybe they were just throwing a little freeze on the yellow one, but maybe they were going there all along. And Korey Dropkin's going to try to move a few.
Here's Fenner firing away. Needs to curl up to hit more than one. It's just going to be a straight peel.
Yeah, he definitely would have liked to have got a couple there, but needed to come up, like you say, about probably another inch or so to get to. Going right into the same place, it looks like.
Walker with his second.
This one's going to be a little light.
It is a little light, and it's going to wreck on that guard and move things around a little bit. Don't know if that necessarily hurt Gushue there, though.
No, no, I don't think it hurts him at all. It's just a matter of what's going to happen here. And looks like Dropkin's going to try to make the double and roll to the corner. So a lot to ask for, but I think he's going to be really close to doing that. Going to roll. No, had hit a little thinner.
Not a bad effort, just a really tough shot.
Yeah. Sometimes those ones look really easy when the rocks are dead even like that, and they're whatever, about 6 inches apart, and that can be really hard to get rid of both rocks. You got to hit it better than you think you need to hit it sometimes to get rid of both.
So here's Mark Nichols. He had himself a great game earlier today. Was really nailing his upweight takeouts. He was the peel master. Casey, another big scrub. Now trying to carve it over just a touch. Pretty much what was requested.
Yeah, that's pretty good, I think.
So you see Korey indicating to hit that one at 12-foot and roll underneath the corner guard.
Which may help him in another couple of shots. It'll take a little bit of doing to get it to count for you, but this one's got to curl a little more.
Not going to catch enough of it, and it is going to spill. So it leaves just one rock for Korey Dropkin in there, and there's 3 for Gushue. Looks like they're content to just draw another one.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's certainly, it's where the game is a little different at this level, because a lot of obviously club curlers would say, well, let's hit that, and then we're going to sit 4 or something like that. And it's like, yeah, but big picture, that might not be the best option.
Well, you have players capable of removing 3 rocks with 1.
Yeah, exactly.
Line 4 doesn't necessarily help you sometimes.
Yeah.
And they are lined up pretty good for Ste.Marie to take a little run at this, but opting instead, it looks like for the back line shot I saw.
Yeah, I got to be really careful with this one. You could easily set this up in a bad place too if you're not really careful. The green ones on the right might be the saving grace for you, but you don't want to set up a double that's going to allow them to sit many. This looks pretty good.
Yeah, back and forth between the 2 brushers, always a good sign. A tap up, and moves it back. It still Gushue sitting 1, but I think that's a pretty good result there for the Dropkin rink.
Yeah, I think that's a really good result. He's only number 2, but he's number 2 very close to being shot, and he's also above the tee line, and I think it's a nice spot.
Yeah, lots of things that are good. So What's your magic eraser? How do you get out of this?
Yeah. Well, I think it's. I mean, I don't think Brad's in trouble or anything at this point. So I think if he can come in and corner freeze on that yellow, he's going to be in pretty good position. He just has to make sure he doesn't line it up with the back one at all.
So not troubled, but somewhat concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
Brad Gushue with his first here in the third.
Be pretty sure he's going to be close. Oh, it's
Casey
really going
holding
hard.
it past the guard. You can't overcurl. You don't want to wreck there.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think he's it just depends on what Korey's going to do here. If he can find a way to get to the green one, then he's got a pretty good opportunity. Just a matter of
Do you
how.
think? Yeah. Do you think you could dig it out on the outturn side?
Yeah, I think he can. I think it's I just don't know if he can move it far enough to sit 3 on the outturn. It's just, looking at it from here and recognizing we're actually even a little bit on the wrong side of the rock. But I think he can get to it. It just busts so hard at the end. I just don't know if he can get to it with enough weight to do a lot of damage. But really, 2 is a pretty good score, so that would be fine. Just trying to see what he's looking at here.
You saw Andrew reference the double off the rock in the 12 foot, but I don't think Korey likes that at all.
No.
Looks like instead he's going to elect to try to hit everything he can see of his own stone and advance things that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the double off the outside one is, even though I don't know if it's time to play it, but it might be an easier shot than this one. He's got a lot of room to work with here.
Well, if nothing else, you should be leaving one of yours close to the 4 foot, which you might be able to use with your last. That would be the saving grace I would think about this call. So here's Korey Dropkin with his first. Just a heavy clean. Now trying to hold it. You got a skinny. You had to just paper it. Oh, when you just wreck them up a little bit, but you do move it off the button. So you did accomplish that mission.
Yeah, I think that's a very good shot for sure. Gushue's got a couple of options, but right now you're sitting 3, and depending on what Brad does, you might have a chance at a 2 or 3 here. I think they indicated just a little tap and flop early on this shot to get number 2, probably half 4 foot or something like that, maybe even full 4 foot, and make Korey's draw for 2 if he chooses to play the draw. Very difficult. So
been a very interesting end thus far. And now Brad Gushue is going to want to make sure it doesn't get crazy. Gushue with his final stone of the third.
not an easy shot. He's coming across the face of the one that's in there. That's always a little bit tough from a sweep call point of view. Ooh.
That slides on by after the hit, and
Dropkin's
looks like he got a shot at open hit for 3.
Yeah. Brad's not too happy. I don't know exactly his thinking there is, but it's a tough shot. It's just tough when you're coming across the face and on ice it curls this much to to match everything up and then get the sweep call right and everything else. It's just tough.
That was certainly not an easy shot.
No, no.
So Korey Dropkin and his squad from the U.S. with a hit for 3 here in the third.
A very big shot. 3-1 leads a lot more than a 2-1 lead, and it's I know it's only a point, but it's a big, big, big point.
Final stone of the third. On it, hard to hold the line. You can't lose it. Don't lose it to the wall. You're going to get just past the guard and you make it.
Yeah.
And there you go. 1, 2, and 3 for Korey Dropkin. It is 3-1 after 3 here from Sault Ste.Marie. You're watching Curling Stadium, and we'll be right back. Nip and tuck game. Back here in the fourth end, it's a 3-1 game. Dropkin scored a big 3 there in the third to take the advantage. Brad Gushue having the hammer here in the fourth end, throwing the green stones. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Jim Nix. Ryan Jakes on the 1 and 2s. And you guys are all with us, and we are glad that you are here with us here on Curling Stadium. You can watch all the action from every draw of every sheet. We make it real easy. Just go on to curlingzone.com. You can check those scores, click the little YouTube buttons, and get those streams and stay updated on all your favorite teams. And please make sure you like and subscribe us on YouTube. Click that bell for notifications. It helps us bring you more curling, and that's what we want to do. So fourth end here, Jim. Gushue needs a little bit of a reset and probably looks to score a deuce here, I would hope.
Yeah, big end for Gushue. It's 2 is pretty big here. If he can get 2 and tie it up at the break, he'd be happy with that at this point. Wouldn't have been before the previous end, but I think you'll see him. He'll be very aggressive. He's usually fairly aggressive anyway, unless he has the lead. So I think I think he'll be going that much harder here. He's probably not in a great mood right now, so he'll try to take that on to the Dropkin team. Might be tough though. Korey's team's playing very well.
Here's Adam Casey with his second here.
This one's just a little heavy again.
A little heavy, and it just didn't come up the way they were hoping. And like you said, most of that is the weight.
Yeah, that's just it's didn't miss it by much, but it's just a big mess here. Or big miss rather, because it just gets in a place where it's not going to do you any good. Anywhere a little bit short of that, and even top 12 foot would have been far better.
Well, the Dropkin team is, Korey Dropkin does have a good resume himself. The 2021 men's national champion, silver in 2024, and bronze in 2023. So definitely has been around and been on the scene for a while. They used to go by the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call Korey old, but you can't say he's 22 anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
29 years of age at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, that moniker stayed with them for a while, though. That was pretty much what everybody knew them by.
This stone here is going to get down there, rattle them around just a little bit, shuffle the deck.
Yeah, good shot
Still
by Jeff.
Dropkin.
Yeah, put that. Sorry
Yeah,
about that. Put their stone in a pretty good position here. So it's a good shot.
Dropkin's still sitting too here. He's going to look to draw in there too. We're going to continue to play this cat and mouse game that we saw play out actually in the last end a little bit and end up in Korey's favor. We'll see how it goes this end. Fenner trying to carve this one in. Probably a little bit heavier than they were hoping for.
Yeah, I think it cleared the back yellow enough that Dropkin could just hit his own onto the green and remove it without too much trouble. But interesting to see what Brad's call is here. He's afraid of rolling somewhere that would just set up the slash double for the Dropkins team. I think that would
they're
be
having a pretty good good conversation about this. So what do you think are the biggest concerns here? You say the slash double. So if you're going to worry about that, where are you going to put it instead?
Well, I think where Brad just indicated, you can hit that and roll just to the outside a little bit. Still sit in a decent position. The other option I thought was the top one, just tap the green one a little bit and just change the angles of hair so that you're not lined up on both of your greens sort of thing. So, or both your yellows rather. That should be okay.
They will make the double take out there. Does Jeff Walker. It's Gushue, line 2.
With no real double to speak of, I think it's it's not really there's not really a double there, so that leaves Brad in a good position to sit 2 after the next shot too. So
So you see Korey looking at playing on the both sides. Now electing to throw board weight here. Enter Ste.Marie.
This could be real good too. Sit right there.
Nice hit and stick there. And now is just the sole Gushue stone. And you hit it, you're going to set shot, but is there really a super place to roll to?
No, there's not right now. I mean, I think it's just a nose hit here. If you can roll out, you can roll to the right a little bit, I guess, and still be number 2 or the very least number 3. But I don't think he wants to do that. I think he's looking to just hit this right on the nose.
Trying to work this over to get to the nose, and they will indeed. Good shot by Nichols there.
Yeah, he just got enough curl that he didn't leave a double, an easy double anyways.
Now you see Dropkin. He's going to make a play on the run back, it appears.
Yeah.
Indicating peel weight.
Could get rid of all the greens here after this shot, though.
Ste.Marie trying to hold it on the one, on the second one. end up clearing their own out instead, but they do leave themselves kind of cornered to the Gushue stone. So not 100% the shot they were intending on, but not a bad leave.
No, I think it's a great leave. Yeah, it forces Brad to do something with it, and there's not a lot of rock stuff to come in this end, so he has to be thinking about, well, even if I can get rid of that, where am I going to be, and am I going to set up any kind of a double or anything? Because he really wants to avoid a double at this point. You've gotten to, the 2 rocks left for Dropkin, and really good chance at getting a deuce for Gushue here, as long as they don't set up some kind of a double.
Trying to work this stone over. They want to cross the face a little bit. Now, do you cross it too much? That's not too bad. Now,
No.
you see Dropkin going right to indicating that he wants to run back the yellow again.
He's going to do that.
That was his first instinct, and usually you want to go with your first call. That's generally the shot that you want, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good way to think about it. If you're having had a hard time deciding, and I'd say 9 times out of 10, your first thought was probably the best thought. So, and usually the one that you feel like you like to play, even if it's not the right shot. So, it's a good way to think about it. This is a big shot, and if you make it, it's a good result. Whoa, yeah, that was pretty good.
I will say, indeed, my friend, they all move, and it's only a Dropkin stone left in the house. How about that?
Yeah, that was a great shot. You see Korey coming out here, and he's going to slide right down with it. And really not a lot of sweep until right now, a little bit just to make it move. And just a perfect shot.
And Korey had to show off and slide behind his stone the whole way so we couldn't see it.
Yeah. 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 It's I don't see people slide that far too often anymore. Everybody's knees are too sore for that.
You saw a big smile on Korey's face there in the back.
Yeah,
that's well deserved. Yeah. Well deserved. That was a hell of a shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't take that one away. It was it looked like he would at least be pretty safe to keep one of the green ones around. Brad's going to get a roll. I don't know if it's the roll he was looking for. Can he get it over behind the corner? Yeah, pretty close, but it's gettable.
It is half open. And heck, if you're going to throw that run back triple or quad or whatever the heck it was, you better be able to make this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I lost count as to how many stones moved there.
Yeah. He's going at this like fairly firm too with that ice. So
I guess it helps that you just threw that weight. You're good. That's what's in your muscle memory at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Korey Dropkin with his final here in the fourth, looking to pick out this rock from Brad Gushue and force him to take the blank. Although it might be a split if Brad wants to take it on, but let's accomplish this one first.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think it's a lot further out than we see in this picture, so I don't think it's really there.
Waiting for it to curl. This one looks pretty good. It's going to clip it, and away it goes. Nice shot by Korey.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't, for these guys, it wasn't a real hard shot, but it wasn't a gimme either. You could only see probably 3 or 4 inches of it, and it wouldn't take much to miss it, anyways.
And with that, Gushue has delivered his final stone. It's a blank end.
Yeah, I think
After four, it's 3-1. We'll be back after this. Back here, end number 5, Dropkin versus Gushue. Gushue with the hammer here, trailing by 2. With the hammer, and when we get a moment, we're going to take a big shot at what changed the complexion of that last end.
Yeah, one more look at this, and this is a tremendous shot by Korey Dropkin. It's not an easy shot by any stretch, and if you don't make it, you could be looking at a 3-ender. Instead, he makes the run back, gets both greens, and nothing but yellow left in the house.
That truly got himself out of Dodge, and you're right, Jim. If you miss that, it's trouble.
Yeah. It's almost a gimme too, and you're gonna have to do something good on your last one to be able to prevent a 3. So, great shot. So Gushue's got some work to do here. He's only down a couple, but the ends are passing by here.
The ends are passing by, and the Dropkin rink looks to be pretty well on point right now, honestly.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah, they're not doing much wrong, that's for sure.
And again, we do have 28 of the very best teams here, attracted in no small part by the $100,000 purse here at the Henderson Metal Fall Classic. We thank them and Kioti Tractors of Ontario for putting up all that extra money.
Yeah, that's a lot of extra money. That's not that easy to come by. Sometimes a little bit easier out west, I guess, probably than in the east. But these guys are only sort of bordering that, and I know it's a great hotbed of curling, a great curling community. But regardless, that's a lot of money to track down to run these events.
Yeah, the entry fee was $1,500, so that means a good $65,000 is at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if just entry fee alone at $42,000, that would be not a bad purse for most bonspiels. So to go out and find another $65,000 is an impressive job by whoever was in charge of doing that.
And for those of you looking for score updates, we'll get them to you in just a minute, but you can always grab them right at curlingzone.com. All the updates from all the sheets are available, and all the streams, all the links. We make it nice and easy. You can click right on the little buttons, and you'll get right to the stream of the game you want to watch. You can keep track of all your favorite teams.
Jeff Walker now being asked to play the out-turn freeze to the rocks in the house. I don't know if he's going to get there.
He does get it right there.
I was watching Adam having to sweep as hard as he's had to sweep in this game. Makes me wonder if Brendan Botcher's really quite ready for all that. I know he's in good shape, and I know he will be able to get to there, but it's going to be tough at first. They wear you out a little bit. So it's I don't know when he's joining. I don't know when Brendan's joining these guys. We've talked a lot about the new addition to the Gushue team, and Brendan Botcher, obviously a tremendous shooter. They make everything for you, and his adjustment, and he's pretty open on that. And same as Brad, both have talked a little bit about there is going to be an adjustment time and an adjustment period, and really, if he can become a good sweeper, which he probably already is, to be honest, it's a little bit of a myth in these days where the skips can't sweep. So um, true in some cases, but most cases it's not quite the truth. So it's going to be an exciting time watching what happens there. And I know everybody has opinions on it, some positive, some negative, but these guys they think these things out pretty hard. So it's going to be an interesting addition.
And I do agree with you with that being a myth. I mean, Brendan's played a good amount of mixed doubles, so you certainly have to sweep in that game.
Yeah, you do, and you got to half the time run up and chase it down before you sweep it. So Gushue's got a couple rocks in the house here. He's going to have one more in here in a minute, I think. Oh, no, he's going to come right up in front of the guard. Don't know what exactly happened there with that one, but he will not be happy with it.
A quick look around the rings, Jim. We have Epping 2-0 over McEwen. Schuster 2-1 against Mike McEwen. It's Mike McEwen with the lead. Morizumi 3-2 over Brad Jacobs. Maeda 5-0 over Simmons. And Abe 4-2 over Kui.
That's interesting. Kui's having not a good weekend so far, so
that is a C event game. So
yeah,
loser of that game will find their weekend ending.
Yeah, another team that's waiting for their fourth player to be able to make a to join the team basically. So Adam Shalinsky is playing mixed doubles this weekend as well. I think on the U.S. side, I think if I remember right, but anyway, he's playing mixed doubles and wasn't able to make this, but he'll be joining them for probably their next event, whatever one that might be. But these guys play a lot, so it's probably next weekend or the weekend after at the latest.
Here's Mark Nichols with a stone on the way. Casey tried to hold it on. You might be able to get them all to go right now. Hit the one. There goes 1, 2, and 3. They're all moving. Do they all go? And
tell you what, that's a great shot. He's sitting two.
Two of them go, and you leave yourself sitting two. Once again, Mark Nichols on the hits.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what hits what and everything else, but he throws it, hits it into the pool, and everything was just lined up well. And then Jeff made sure he got that one over behind the corner without sweeping it out past the yellow. So great job. The doubles here return though for Dropkin. It's pretty flat, but I think it is there if you want to throw it with enough force here.
That is going to be the call for Andrew Ste.Marie here.
Yeah, there's very few competitive players that can't throw the high hard one anymore. Some better than others, but he's probably pretty close with this.
On the one, work on the way over, and bang, bang. Not only do you make it, well, you didn't clear it, but you got two under cover. That's just about as good enough.
Yeah, you'll see it again. These guys just make this look so easy. This is not an easy shot. These rocks are pretty flat. You got to hit this solid to get this over to the even to get it in the neighborhood of the green one, and he makes it really easily and get the perfect roll. And like you say, Brad really can't do anything with those rocks over there. He's going to have to come around the front, I think. Looks like an out-turn draw around, so still an opportunity. He's got guard to work with, so still a chance for Gushue to manage to manufacture a deuce here, but they're going to have to make three really good shots in a row, I think.
Right now, both these teams are making it look easy in this end.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
I assure you it's not.
No. Hitting one rock is hard sometimes these days. Adam Casey working this one again. Adam's pretty much going hard on every shot. They really need to bury this. They want to make sure that they get over there where it's a little bit difficult for Korey Dropkin to remove it. It's one of those times, I think, too, Dave, where, our theory always is, well, let's make sure we leave it above the tee line so they can't freeze to it. And when you're down 3-1, you're trying to manufacture 2. Sometimes you just have to say, we got to bury it. I don't really care if it goes by in the T line. We're going to need a break somewhere to score, and let's see if we can make it happen now.
That's a really good point, Jim. I was going to ask you about that very same thing. You took the words out of my mouth there.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I hope they tasted good.
Yeah.
So Corey's going to try to follow it down. He has to make a good one here, or else Gushue can start to manufacture something.
Corey's having a pretty good game so far, so I would expect this to be very close.
Fenner and Howell on the brush.
Sweepers back and forth, back and forth. He's got to be in the neighborhood.
It's usually a pretty good sign. Needs to find its way home, and that is not too bad at all.
No, pretty good. I think it could have been a little bit better. I think they just kind of got a little excited on the brooms, but I think they could have got it a hair over and a hair shorter and would have been better, because I think Brad can remove this. It's not easily, but he can. But he'll leave Korey Dropkin the exact same shot, and if Korey makes it good, then the end's over for Gushue. So, but
Jim, would you ever give a thought to looking at the other turn here?
In turn side, yeah, I have to have a look at it here. Yeah, you could. I think it's going to be harder to get to the yellow, but the staggers are right that it seems like it'd be easier coming into the yellow from the intern side. I just don't know if there's enough room past the guard to get there. And they certainly should be familiar with this one.
That's obviously a huge part of it, having the familiarity with the shot that you're calling.
Yeah. Especially when you're down to skips rocks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's Gushue with this first. Trying to work his way down there. Now, Casey on it again and again. They tap it and move things around. And it is Gushue sitting shot right now, right on the pin.
Well, he did free it up a little bit, though. If he ever could get a miss somehow, he has a little better chance of moving that. He clearing the back one and picking up the extra point. What's his name? Andrew Ste.Marie was indicating maybe to hit about a quarter of or half of the green one and they'd catch her on the side, but I don't know. That'd be tough too.
That was Andrew's first instinct, and I think it might be there, but like you said, that's a pretty tall order. That's a double whopper with cheese.
Yeah, that's I think the draw makes the most sense. I think the other shot is possible for sure, and could maybe get rid of all the green ones. I just don't know if it's worth the go. I think a little freeze on it would be pretty good. Move it 2 inches would be okay, but little help from second stone, is it, Mark Fenner?
Yeah, that's Fenner coming on down to give some input. Fenner and Howell have played for a very long time together.
Yeah.
Even before joining forces with Dropkin.
Oh, okay. How long have this team been together? Like more than just this year?
I want to say this is about, I'm going to get this wrong, so I better make sure I get it right because my friends will yell at me.
Yeah. I had to guess they'd be like everybody else. They would have tried to do it in term ready for the quadrennial. So Korey Dropkin asked to put this one in the right spot. Get this in the wrong spot, you could drop 3 here, so you got to be careful.
This is the 3rd season in a row for this team to be together.
Okay.
As a squad.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The year prior, as opposed to having Andrew Stopera, it was Joe Polo throwing third, lending his tutelage, so to speak, to Korey Dropkin. I do remember that being the joke that he was the old man amongst the young bucks.
Yeah.
It was the young bucks and Joe.
Yeah. And he had, I don't know if I just don't even know if I'm imagining this or not, but he had kind of sort of semi stopped playing for a couple of years, hadn't he, Joe Polo?
Yeah, for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So Gushue has to make a good one here.
And Tyler George now works mainly as an ambassador for curling, doing a lot of our broadcasts.
Yeah.
A lot of local grassroots outreach, and Tyler's been great for our community. So here's the final stone of the fifth end for Brad Gushue. Needs to rattle around a little bit to try to get his deuce here. He can just get to the lid. He'll get it. On it, hard to hold the line. Can't lose it. Doesn't look to be heavy either. Do you have it there? Now, do you have the line? Carve it over a little bit. And what a shot by the veteran Skip. And he gets his deuce. So a score or two, and we're all tied up. We'll start over again in the sixth when we come back from Sault Ste.Marie. We're back here at number 6. Apologies, I misspoke. Fenner's the lead on the team. But I'm going to blame you, Jim, because you said second stone.
Yeah. Oh, did I? Yeah, I might have, yeah.
Yeah, that's Fenner that threw it, and it was Hal that came down. I got my boys confused for a second. I do apologize.
Okay.
Mea culpa, mea maxima culpa.
Okay.
And so now it's Dropkin with the hammer tied up here in the sixth end. So you would have to say it's advantage to Korey here.
Yeah, although you're just, you got to feel a little better if you're the Gushue squad. You haven't been able to put a lot together, and you managed to make that do. So you're going to be feeling a little bit better about things. But you are dead right. Sixth and tie game. The advantage has got to go to the guy with the hammer. I don't know what the stats are for that as far as, how often you win that game in that situation, but I'd be curious as to what they'd be. Jerry.
And you are.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure Jerry has, and he'll probably chime in at some point and let us know. But I'll tell you what, though, that was one heck of a draw by Gushue to get right to that sliver.
Yeah.
And we were talking in the break about how many times we've seen him make that draw just to like the side of the pin.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's one of those things. If you're Korey Dropkin and your opponent makes that, you just tip your cap and say, "Nice shot, Skipper."
Yeah.
I was never mad at losing a game where the other guy made all the shots.
Yeah. We're playing a little bit of defense here.
The run back does not remove both stones, but not a bad leave.
Yeah, good result. Yeah.
Now Dropkin looking at the options, trying to see what the angles are in those cards. Looks like he does want to clear something.
Well, it certainly makes sense. You don't need to let this end get too complicated.
So that mission is accomplished there. So if you're Gushue, are you pressuring hard to force Dropkin to a blank here?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, you'd love to force him to blank, and at the very least, force him to one. Although he wouldn't be terribly upset with taking one, but he wasn't quite sure what Brad was going to play here, so he's on the guard. He's actually going to try to guard the green one, even though it's not shot right now. He's hoping it might be at some point. That's a good draw. Good guard. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out. If they keep throwing the guard up, I don't know if Korey will keep peeling it, because he might find he's going to get himself in a position where he's going to definitely have to take one. It'll be interesting. See what their thoughts are. I don't know how they feel about that.
Just a straight peel there, and Gushue immediately indicates the guard. So let the game and cat and mouse start. Stone on the way from Nichols. Needs to curl over a touch. Also looks to be a mite heavy.
Yeah. Might get away with it, but he got awful close to where Dropkin could make the double and roll onto the rings, which would be not good for Gushue.
I'm not entirely convinced that shot's not there, but we'll see.
I think it is there. I think it's just, it's a little bit more difficult than it would have been if he went another 6-8 inches. But
shot from Ste.Marie. There's the double, and can they spin it on? Yes, they do.
Very well played shot. That bad error by Mark to go that deep. You'll see it again here. It's a pretty simple double. That's not the tough part. The tough part is making sure you get to where you can roll your shooter on. And they just did that just perfectly. It's couldn't do it any better.
So now it's Team Gushue chasing here a bit. All the hard scrubs seem to be on Adam Casey's side tonight.
I know, don't they? It just seems like every rock that has to be swept, it's Adam sweeping it. So it's a good shot by Mark. He needed to get a little more of a roll, but it was a good attempt. Bad part for Gushue here is that no matter where these rocks go, really at this point, the double is not going to be an easy double.
So trying to curl over.
Ooh,
just want to make sure you stay on the range. Can't afford to roll off. Can't ever roll off. And it just hangs on to the back. They are spaced about as far as possible.
Are they ever? Brad may take a run at this. It's possible that he may say, because really he hasn't got much. So he may take a run at this. And
yeah, there's not a lot to lose, is there?
No. Yeah, if you try to make it and you don't make it, then the Dropkin splits the house and puts them even further apart, which would make the double impossible. But the option, I guess, is to hit the one at the top, roll onto the rings, be shot rock, and make Dropkin play it, which is maybe not bad either.
So the team's going to come on down and at least meander that way and have a discussion.
Yeah. Snacks are probably all at this end too, so no, they're not coming any further.
Both Walker and Walker in disguise are hungry right now.
Yeah.
Great picture. Thank you, Ryan. I love you.
Walker 1 and Walker 2.
And there's a timeout called. So now the front end is officially allowed to join.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, they'll play this and play the intern and probably play it to hit and roll on the rings and force Dropkin to do something with it, which may make a better chance at the double. I don't think they'll take a run at the double on this shot. It'd be tempting, but I just think if you don't make it, you're definitely not having a chance at it on the next shot. So it's either that or you ignore the whole thing and go around it, but I don't think they'll do that either. It puts the whole game on the line in this situation. So if you could get over there in a position where Korey couldn't necessarily play, the hit and roll back to the center, that would be a successful shot for Gushue. Because then Korey hits it on the nose or hits and rolls a little to the left maybe and sets up a much easier double. So he's going to play a hit of some sort anyways.
We know that much. I believe during that discussion, they solved the problem of cold fusion.
Yeah. Still not sure exactly what shot he's playing, but probably be able to tell by, speed wise. So he can't be playing the double, I don't think. Must be playing the hit and roll to the left as we look at it here.
Shockingly, Adam Casey is hard on the brush.
Yeah, is he ever? Yeah. I never really knew Adam was that good a sweeper, but that's a great shot.
They get the hit and the roll over. You're right. It's going to be tough for Korey Dropkin to hit that and move all the way over. The shot's certainly there. There's room. But good shot there by Gushue.
Yeah, that's all he could do, really. And the rocks are far enough apart that Korey can still, not have to worry too much about hitting it on the inside and driving it on the yellow one. But that's all you can do if you're Brad, is just to try to force him to maybe not make a great roll.
Yeah, that's it's possible that the angle that's left is better than the angle that was there because, well, frankly,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all you.
It'd be tough to have a worse angle than he was just looking at.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's Korey Dropkin with his first of 2 in the 6th end.
I think they're going to get away with it.
Hard on the sweep. They get the hit. They clear it. They roll across. Question is, did they leave Gushue a double?
Well, there's definitely a double there, but it's not an easy double for sure. It's probably a quarter rock.
You got to throw it, right?
I think so. Yeah, there's just you just don't have anything to make Corey's shot hard at all. Like, I mean, yeah, if you make a perfect roll, you get to the tee line in front of that yellow one, but that would be a perfect roll, and it still wouldn't even make it impossible for Dropkin to get his two. So I think you got to take a run at this.
So Brad Gushue, with his final stone of the sixth end, got to make this really tough double.
He's going to be in the neighborhood, I'll tell you.
It's going to be really close. You're off the one. Come on across. Do you make it? Yes, you do. Great. What a spectacular shot by Brad Gushue.
Yeah, it's a tremendous shot. And actually, even stage, you'll see it here again. There's not a lot of room for error on this. The rock is curling away from the one you're trying to make contact with, and you're only trying to hit an inch of it. As you can see, just absolutely perfect. Called very, very well. Swept perfectly. Great curling shot.
Now, Korey Dropkin is going to have to take the blank here and move on with hammer in the seventh. Final stone of end number 6. And the blank is in the books, but what an end that was. And we're still tied up after 6. Hold on your hats. We got a good one here in Sault Ste.Marie. We'll be back after this on Curling Stadium. Seventh end. We got a barn burner here in Sault Ste.Marie at the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. A huge double by Brad Gushue to get out of that end.
Yeah, you're going to see it here, Dave. It's he really does have to be perfect on this shot. They've got to let it go and run the risk of curling by everything, and just called perfectly by Mark Nichols, and bang bang, and sitting one, even stayed, even made Corey's shot a little bit tougher.
So here we are in the 7th. Dropkin has a hammer in a tied up affair, 3 apiece. Getting your money's worth here. And you don't even have to pay. All you have to do is like and subscribe, by the way, on Curling Zone.
Yeah.
So yeah, the center guard up, and Gushue's going to come right on down to shot stone. So mentally, you have to not let that deflate you if you're Korey Dropkin there, because you had to feel really, really, really good about where you were there.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it certainly is a little bit of a downer because, I mean, you get 2 there and you just forced a 1 or even forced a 2 in the 7th end. You got Hammer going home. What more could you ask for? You're playing Brad Gushue, number 1 or 2 team in the world. So, it's certainly a bit disappointing, but at the end of the day, the blank is probably something you were quite ready to accept going into that end. So you just have to try to park that and just live with what the end result. And it's not like he gave up points or anything. So it should be okay. I think they'll deal with that okay. Probably deal with it a lot better if they win this game though than if they don't. So it's
oh, well, isn't that for sure?
Yeah.
I'd like to thank all of you who are joining us here on Curling Stadium. Thanks for taking the time out in your day to join us. We truly do appreciate it. You can catch all the games, all the action from every sheet of this spiel. This is a big one. We got more than $100,000 in the purse. All the scores are available on curlingzone.com. Just click right on there. You have all the buttons. You can watch all your favorite games. Hit our YouTube page. We have playlists for all your favorite teams. Check them out. You can always stay apprised. You're never going to miss a second of the action if you follow us. Peel the guard there.
Yeah, he didn't really have any option. It's hard sometimes when you look, you say you're sitting 2 and it's behind the guard and everything. We should just leave it there, but that's never a good thing at this level. It would come back to haunt you 9 times out of 10.
So now, with this up, now without guards, do you think Korey would ever try to blanket again?
Oh, yeah, for sure he would, yeah. Just might be hard to get to there.
Oh, obviously, Brad's going to have some other plans, that's for sure. But we've seen a couple of real pistol shots removing a lot of granite from both of these squads here.
Yeah, it seems Korey's content with just removing the guard as well on this peel. And the only way I think you're going to get to a blank is if he chose to run one hard back into the pile and eliminate a few rocks. But that would probably eliminate his rocks as well. And maybe only his rocks. So I think it's, I don't think he's going to do that.
Here's another straight peel.
Bit of a guessing game now. Who's going to do what? It's pretty simple at the start. You know what either team is going to do for those first 3-4 shots, and then all of a sudden it gets a little bit more difficult to predict as the rocks gather in the house.
Yeah, you saw Brad indicate for a second that, considering playing a little bit tighter to the rings, but elected to throw the guard with this one.
This one could be interesting. Yeah, they're going to take a minute to talk about it. Might take a minute and 30 seconds to talk about it, I guess.
In fact, indeed, there is a timeout called right now. So you see both teams with sufficient time available. 2 timeouts are being afforded to both squads here.
Yeah, that's a lot of time left to play 2 ends for sure. So even when it gets a bit congested.
So we see Ste.Marie and Fenner. Now Hal's going to get an invite. Come on into the party, Tom. What do you think?
Is that the coach at the other end?
Yeah, I'm trying to see who that is.
I know, but he might as well go in and stay warm because you're not going to get much input into this, I don't think. Too far away. I wouldn't be surprised to see him run the one that marches through, really. Run it into a little bit into the pile or into half of the pile, if you will, and get rid of a couple of rocks, and you're probably going to lose one of yours, but the only problem with that, I guess, is you could get forced to one, but you could get forced to one either way. So I'm pretty sure he's going to run something back.
Yeah, I think it is time to make that call.
Yeah. Or make that call even. So he's going to play that. I don't know. Maybe he's just playing the straight peel on this. It doesn't. I don't think he'd run it into that rock. I think he'd run it into the other green rock. But so it might be just a straight peel.
And it is a straight peel. That was certainly the call. So now, what's your thoughts here if you're Brad Gushue?
Well, I think you're
You
one
want,
rock away from coming around that stuff. I think it's probably going to be a guard here, and then on the next one, I'd be awful tempted to throw the intern around that pile of rocks there and just go to the back of the forefoot because the yellows would be lined up in such a way that the stagger would be right. You wouldn't really cause yourself any damage if you had to remove them on the next shot. I don't think
with
they'll
that,
remove them now because if you played it now, chances are really good that Korey would be able to make up one or two doubles and the end would be over for you. You wouldn't accomplish either stealing one or forcing to one. So
I see both teams recognizing the gravity of this end.
yeah,
Adam Casey, or shall we say, Jeff Walker Jr., has joined the conversation.
yeah, yeah. It's a big moment in the game for sure. It's you know,
Ultimately, this end most likely will decide it, I would think.
yeah. I don't know if there's a way you can hit play one of yours and roll far enough away to prevent a double eventually, and I don't think there's really a good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is hand Korey Dropkin a blank opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You want there to be a score on either side.
yeah,
You'd prefer it's one for Dropkin, and then you can come back and get two.
sure. Yeah,
But these teams have been
yeah,
extremely evenly. These teams have been
yeah.
extremely evenly matched. Deuces have been hard to come by. We've had a 3 and 1 deuce and 3 blanks in this game.
I know it's hard to believe. Like Corey's team, well, both teams haven't scored much, but Dropkin's only scored once, and it just doesn't feel like that. It's like it feels like they've had more opportunities and scored more points than that. But so here's the come around that we just talked about. I thought this might wait one more shot, but they've chosen to play it now.
Just gonna look to warp one around here. And the shot's away from Nichols. Trying to hold this one out hard. Now hopping in two for the weight. Over curling, so they're going to end up with that high shot, whether they want it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I think, that's kind of where I thought he might call it in the first place, but I did like to come around. I just didn't know if it would be one shot too early, but
Now, is that the right shot for Korey now?
you know what? I think it probably is at this point, Dave. I don't know. I don't think the green ones are going to be really hard to get rid of. So I think this makes some sense. He goes around. Goose is probably following him down almost no matter where he ends up. And he might have his chance at two if he can make a good shot here.
So, Andrew Ste.Marie can have a big draw here.
Guys are working this really hard.
At holding it for line and for weight. Gotta get it around. They are not going to get it around. It is going to wreck.
Well, that's interesting now for Gushue. That certainly, if anything, helped him a little bit.
Tell me if I'm crazy, but if you smack the living daylights out of that, don't they all go?
Yeah, I think that's what Brad's thinking too. Certainly 2 of the yellows go, and it's just a matter of that back one. I think he'll catch that. I don't know for sure. You can see Mark's going to warm it up a little bit. It always seems something slightly illegal about that, but it's not. So anyway, yeah, this is going to be interesting. I'm just not sure how much of the back one he's going to get, but certainly the top one and the one right behind the green one are going to go, and he should be in a pretty decent position after this, I think.
So Brad Gushue looking for the big shot here in the 7th.
There you go.
On the one, bang, 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 and there they go. All the yellows explode away, and it's Gushue, line 3.
Yeah, you'll see this come down, and really without the previous shot, you'd never have a chance to do this, but Brad throws it when he can smell an opportunity. He takes it almost every time, and all the yellows go, and nothing but green left. Yeah, Ste.Marie's rock just ended up in the worst place it could end up. It wasn't even terrible being short, but he had to be shorter than that. If you're going to be short, you got to be short. So Dropkin's going to try to get rid of some stuff here. He can probably get rid of all but one, to be honest. I think he can hit the top green onto the green on the top of the 12-foot, which might make the double on the other one. So I could see that probably didn't make a lot of sense, but in my mind, it's perfect. So it's I think he can get rid of three of the 4.
Yeah, I see a good possibility of 3 going here too. So
Yeah.
I might be crazy, but you're not. So we're in good shape.
No, we're doing good.
Here's Korey Dropkin with his first in the 7th. Trying to have an answer after Gushue laid a great one on him. On it, right out of his hand, holding the line.
Yeah.
You move 1, and that's all you move.
Yeah, I think he was tight right off the start. So, well, quite a change here. It's pretty interesting. Gushue could make this really tough on Dropkin.
You just go top button, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's just that would make sense to me. I just say he was looking a little bit at a tap kind of shot, but I don't know. Not sure why you do that.
Well, if you throw the draw top button, you're probably going to steal all day because it's going to be really, really tough for Korey to get it out.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're trying to, well, clearly the force is on.
Yeah, the only thing I can think that he's looking at it all is to try to kind of widen out the wall, if you will, and just kind of tap one and roll over a little bit, just make that shot even that much harder. But I think, with the draw weight that Brad usually has, it's, he's gonna make it pretty tough. You just get it in there not anywhere, but behind the guards. But I think it's going to be a really hard shot for Korey Dropkin.
Adam Casey being a good lead and getting the rock ready for his skip, as I'm sure he has expected in the past.
Yeah. That's why he's playing lead, not second now, because he does a better job than Jeff probably on that. So here we go.
Those are your words, Jim, not mine.
Yeah.
Brad Gushue with his final stone in the 7th. Casey trying to hold the line. Now they're both trying to drag it for the weight. Get around everything you did. Now where are you going to bury it to? Finish it off hard. And not too bad, but it's going to leave, most of the 4 foot. Just to grab a little itsy bitsy piece of it, and it'll be a single for Dropkin.
Yeah, perfect line on that shot. They just needed a little bit more oomph or whatever. They just needed to move it. You get another 2 feet out of that, or even 18 inches, and it would be really, really good. But they won't be unhappy with that, anyways. Korey's going to have to make a decent draw to score, and that would have Gushue would have taken that start in this end for sure.
Yeah, so the force is on here, short of Korey having a tactical nuclear weapon in his back pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. These aren't gimmies because the ice curls so much that you gotta go out there quite a ways to be sure to clear that pile of rocks at the front.
And they are going through the right process there, making sure that they talk about the speed, because it's been a minute since Korey's thrown a draw.
Yeah.
Final stone at number 7 for Korey Dropkin, looking for a single. Just needs to grab a touch of the 4 foot.
It looks pretty good. They're getting a little more serious about sweeping it here.
As long as it gets around, it should be okay. And it certainly is. So it's a single point for Korey Dropkin. He leads by a score of 4-3 after 7. Brad Gushue will have the hammer when we come back. We're back here in the 8th end of the Henderson Metal Fall Classic, presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. I'm Dave Schmel. I'm joined by Jim Nix. And we have been treated to a great game with all of you here watching between Korey Dropkin and Brad Gushue.
Yeah, it's been a good one for sure.
So we have Brad Gushue trailing by 1. He has the hammer here in the 8th end. Looking to score a deuce to get the win here.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that Brad will be looking 100% for the deuce. He won't be satisfied with a single unless he absolutely has to on the last shot. But seen enough to see these guys play that they're going to throw whatever it takes on that last one to get 2.
A little wobble there, but a good recovery. Now Ste.Marie trying to work it over and drag it underneath. Get it all the way under. Gonna get it about half under. Still visible for Brad Gushue and his squad.
Yeah, the other option for Dropkin there was to throw up another guard. Just be, in a tie game, I think you're throwing up another guard for sure. Being up 1, perhaps he feels he's comfortable throwing that one in.
So playing hard for the force here and trying to get to an extra.
Yeah.
Both teams more than 5 minutes on their game clock, so no problem there. You see Korey adding to the stack. We've seen this script played a few times this game. Each team with a little bit of posturing, trying to figure out who's going to blink first. This one does not make it around the guard.
No, Brad's probably going to move one thing. Yeah.
Are you looking to leave your shooter here someplace or just more of a straight peel?
No, I think you're looking to leave the shooter right there. It's being a good spot for you. It's very close to the rings, and your green one's on top of the yellow one in behind, so just sit it right there. It's perfect.
This one's crawling up a good deal. It's going to move them both. Whether they want to or not, they're both gone.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they were playing. I don't think it was there you go. Okay. Corey's going to play the guard.
So I'm assuming you want to drop this as long as you possibly can.
Yeah, I think it's I would consider probably like a halfway kind of shot, something like that. I'm going to have a chat. I don't know what he's thinking the options would be here. I guess they're just trying to figure out exactly the depth for this. And a good idea. It's going to be important. Corey's also talking about that's indicating there he could peel that corner off, maybe make the double, and I don't know that. Yeah. I'm not sure the corners are, normally you'd say the corner could hurt you. I'm not sure the corner's really set up to hurt you here right now, but.
Give you a quick look around the rings here. John Epping got the win over Stanley McEwen, 7-1. It's Mike McEwen with a 5-3 lead over John Schuster. Morizumi, a 7-2 win over Brad Jacobs. Maeda holds a 8-5 advantage in the eighth end over Simmons. And Abe did defeat Kevin Kioti by a score of 8-3.
So some good teams having a tough weekend here, but that's what happens when the good teams are also playing good teams. So
yeah, we got 28 pretty good teams here, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
What's it they say in the NFL? The other guys get paid too?
Yeah.
So they're going to get their guard. And that depth is right where you wanted it, about halfway. So they could have saved all that time and just listened to you.
Yeah. I've done some coaching. These ends get so complicated, though. They're tough.
So now here's Jeff Walker with his second. Casey trying to scrub it over, both of them, and they do split their own onto the rings there. So that's very interesting for later.
Yeah, that was an interesting call. I don't think I would have thought of that. That's you'll see him going playing a little split here just to move the green ones out of the way and to give you something to come off later. So now you're sitting number 2, number 3, number 4. That's a lot of rocks to have in there and a lot for Korey to have to think about. He's got a guard out there, but it's one lonely guard right now. I think he's got to he's either got to move something or he's got to draw in for another rock. So
yeah, my first instinct would be to draw down on top of and lie third, but moving something's probably pretty good too.
Yeah.
But another shot definitely worth the conversation. The rubber is meeting the road right now.
Yeah. They might use up all this time they got banked by the time this end is over anyway. Okay.
So here's Ste.Marie. And come with the out turn and try to get this one moving and roll on in. Get a little 2-for-1 special. You got to hit it first. So, no, you flash.
Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't think he threw that too bad. And it just never really worked its way over there the way I'm sure that they obviously felt it would too. Wasn't really crazy heavy.
And they weren't panic brushing it either.
No, they weren't. Yeah, they weren't making it go any extra. So maybe they should have been.
So now opportunity knocking for Gushue for sure. Nichols with this stone they're going to take this opportunity to get rid of that Dropkin stone. Casey will work it in and
that's a nice
bye yellow. So now it's Gushue with 4 in the rings.
That one rolled off enough. Probably rolled off more than Mark would have liked it to roll off. So looks like Korey's going to play some kind of a draw here. I don't know if he's trying to go through that port, Dave, or if he's just trying to sit on one of the green ones.
We'll find out in a second. This looks a touch heavier than draw weight, but they're on it right out of Andrew's hand. And they are going to come down to the shot rock and move it just a skosh and leave themselves in a pretty decent spot.
Yeah, it's a good spot. Another timeout, maybe?
It looks like Brad just called timeout here. Dropkin has about 1:30 on the clock the last time I looked at it. So they should have one timeout left as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
This is the second timeout for Team Gushue, but they have another 4 minutes behind.
Yeah. This is a tough call here. I'm not quite sure what's the right shot to be, what the right shot would be here. Mark's last one came around there pretty hard. He could probably get to the yellow. I just don't know for sure if he can get enough to not have it bounce off the green and stay for shot somewhere.
I suppose you could draw around the outturn side.
Yeah, you could, yeah. But then you're leaving the yellow for Korey, which is not probably the preferred thing.
Well, which is why that yellow is in a good spot right now.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. It's a great spot.
As good as it could be at being surrounded by a host of your opponent's rocks.
Yeah.
They seem to have settled on a quietish tap and move.
Oh, he's going to go this way? Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you're going to see Nichols come here on the outturn side and raise his own onto the Yellowstone of Korey Dropkin and try to push it through the rings. Casey on the sweep trying to hold it. Bang, bang. We move a lot, but the Dropkin stone is right there, basically on the button after all that happened. That did not go the way you drew it up, buddy.
That's pretty much disaster for Gushue, really. We'll see it come down here, and I'm not like everybody else have to see where it really hit. What's the problem? We didn't really get to see the finish of that. But he obviously didn't hit it where he wanted to have it, but I don't think they would have ever envisioned losing all the green ones, or almost all the green ones.
Well, I don't know what the technical term for it is, but I'm going to say that's not good.
No, that would be definitely correct.
So I do believe that, timeout's been called by Team Dropkin, and coach is out there with them.
Yeah, their last timeout was at the other end. The coach didn't get to have any input at all. So
he got to look, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see. You're just hitting the green, aren't you?
Yeah, you're hitting the green. Yeah, I think they're just talking about where they'd like to end up after they hit the green. So I think it's that's the only part of the discussion that I can figure that needs to be had. You got to remove that green one.
So where do you think it goes?
Well, I think they indicated they want to roll to the other side of center, which would be probably top 4 foot, something like that. Or top 8 foot rather, probably not top 4 from where it is, but that's probably as good as any. I would be thinking about rolling in front of mine, but you want to make sure you don't leave an easy double and roll behind a guard or something. That's what you don't want to do. So I think they would really like this one to get out of the way a little bit.
So here's Korey Dropkin with his first in the 8th. We're going to remove this stone from Brad Gushue. On it, hard to hold the line. We're going to get a decent roll out of it. Doesn't roll quite as far as I think they would have liked, but does appear to be a sliver undercover.
Yeah, probably a third to half a rock, probably behind the guard, thrown from the right-hand hack.
So if you're Gushue here, have you given up on trying to score 2, or?
No, definitely not. No, they'd be thinking 2 right till they can't possibly get to. So I think this shot is to come around to the yellow, and I'm not even sure that they're trying to move the yellow and be shot after this. I think they might be thinking about that slash on the green. If they could put this on the right angle, and then they could run the green one back in. I know Corey's going to throw a rock in between there, which complicates things a little bit. But I didn't get the impression with that ice and with the way that they were looking at it that they're actually trying to move it. I think I would have a shot.
Yeah, that's the inconvenient part of this game. Your opponent gets to throw to.
Yeah.
So here's Brad Gushue with his first in the 8th. On it, hard to hold the line. Now we're trying to drag it for the weight as well. Got to get past that guard. Past the guard. Oh, you never did. And you left it high. Oh, my. It's still Dropkin sitting 1-2.
Yeah, that wasn't certainly was not part of the plan for sure. So Korey will just try to take that raise away and force Brad to maybe, if he has enough room, to go around on the out turn and get a piece of the button.
It's there. He's done it before, and he's going to have to do it again, it looks like. So the guard upcoming from Korey Dropkin here. Korey Dropkin and the team from Duluth. With their final in the 8th, looking to lock it down to force Gushue to a really tough draw. Want to get it to just the right spot. Bring it up there and drop it right there, guys. There you go. So this is why you pay to skip the big bucks.
Yeah.
Put it on the lid, Skipper.
Not much to talk about in this one either. It's pretty well predetermined before Korey's rock even stopped what he was going to have to do, what Brad was going to have to do.
So Brad Gushue, the 6-time Briar champion, needs to pin this one with his final stone in end number 8 to force the extra. Walker and Casey on the brush. Gauging the weight. Past the guard, no problem. Now, do you get past the second one? No problem, too. Now, is the weight perfect? Is it perfect? Is it going to stay there? Will it park it there? Yes! You get that single, and what a fantastic draw by the champion there. And we're going to have bonus curling coming here from Sault Ste. Marie right after this. You're watching Curling Stadium. We're back here in the extra end here at the Henderson Metal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. And we're here because Brad Gushue just threw an absolute pistol of a draw. And here's another look at it. Managed perfectly by the brushers. Negotiating past both those guards and stopping right on the pin. That's a shot of a champion right there. So now it is Korey Dropkin with the hammer here in the extra.
And a big mistake.
The first stone comes in, slips in. That is obviously a big error. I'm Dave Schmel, joined by Jim Nix, Ryan Jakes on our production. I'm so excited from that last shot, buddy. I can't help myself.
Yeah, that was it's just amazing how easy you made that look. You know, just there's really no room for error, and I don't think I'd ever want to be. I never really had to be a front end sweeper for those kinds of shots, and I'm so glad. They got to be the harder almost than throwing it.
Oh, that's absolutely such a team shot, because if you miss that even by a millimeter, the game is over right there. You don't even have a chance. Now, sure, your opponent has the hammer on the extra, but you still got a shot.
Yeah.
That guard does go up. Now, not touching the center line, so you could tick that if you want it. And yeah, I do think that's what Korey's calling.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he is for sure. That's, yeah, just
This is here, and Gushue's going to see if he can get to that center line. He does, and it's going to have to go on back. I always love when you bang it on the broom. You don't even move it a micron.
Yeah. That's a big break for Gushue, though.
Yeah, absolutely, because that first guard did slip in, and if they had been left without any guards, that would have been terribly unfortunate.
Yeah. And uninteresting for us.
And it is all about us, Jim. So here's Jeff Walker. They're going to lay up another guard. We're going to see this for a while. Now, Dropkin, he's got his stone that wins sitting there on the edge of the 12-foot. That's all he needs right now. He just needs to make sure that Gushue doesn't get a better one. And now, of course, we're past the free guard zone, stone number 6 here. We can peel away. And with that being off the center line, the angles exist. And there goes 1, 2. Jams on their own, but good night, nurse. It just cleared them all off.
Yeah, not much to work with now. You'll see this one come down, just hitting this is pretty much the exact right spot. Almost didn't curl enough for him, but just came up. A little unlucky over there, but again, not something that really should be a factor. So
Jeff Walker is going to have to throw another guard here. They're going to need a miss out of the Dropkin rink here to have a shot, a legitimate shot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's hard to get those nowadays. These peels.
Peel attempt forthcoming. Hal makes that. It's over the top of the one in the rings, but that's not a problem. Now you see Brad motion to a little bit of a different spot here on the ice.
Yeah, quite often it's it seems like years ago we used to always just keep throwing the exact same spot, but ice conditions were different and everything else, so you might get an odd miss on a peel. But now it's it's a good idea sometimes to move it around a little bit. Don't get too hung up on whether or not you're going to be guarding the exact button, because you need to get something and make the other team think a little bit, maybe get a little bit of a half miss even somewhere here.
Because right now the best guard available for Gushue to use is that Dropkin one that's hanging on to the 12-foot, and that's not much of an Alamo to defend.
No, you're right. That's not a big helper. This is close, but
over the top as well, but a peel made by Ste.Marie. Now Nichols called on for the guard. First reaction is that this one has plenty.
bit of a hopeless feeling for the team without Hammer here. It's just kind of not a lot of hope at this point. But You got to keep throwing it, keep hanging in. You just need to get a half, 3/4 miss or something to at least make the other skip have to make something decent. Good shot, but
Oh,
Dropkin
another
did
one.
a good job.
Yeah, we've seen that one just go just over the top of that like 3 times now, but it's
Yeah.
still a well executed shot. And now it's time for Brad Gushue to continue to try to dream the impossible dream here.
Yeah, if that corner guard was a little bit better, you might see Brad kind of duck around there, figuring the other guy might peel the corner, and then you put another one in the house and make him either make the draw or have to hit and stay. So it's just a little bit too far out of the way and probably a little too long, too. Korey could probably get it even if you go behind it. So
here's the first from Gushue. It's there just a little bit further than halfway. The broom goes right on down, and Dropkin's going to try to dispatch it. Peel attempt on the way from Dropkin, and that goes no problem. And now you see Gushue is going to put it right on the edge of the 8.
yeah, it's one of those sort of, like you say, the corner guard's a little too far over for it, but all you can do is sort of maybe tease a little bit and hope the guy maybe goes after it and rolls out, maybe.
And get an extra end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's why I don't think I would want to completely bury this. I'd rather have him have to think about and maybe play the hit than just draw on the 12-foot to beat me. So both skips have been so good today that it's going to be pretty hard to get a miss out of Korey anyways on this one, I think. He had one miss earlier, but that's about all he's had.
I'll tell you what, Jim, we've been treated to some real shot making in this game.
Yeah, it's been a dandy. It's been a really good game. It's unfortunate that one of these teams is going to drop down to the C division, really.
I agree. This has certainly been the best game I've called this weekend.
Yeah.
And you see that one settle right in the tee line, right at the 8-foot, right where he put down the broom. And Korey is going to hit it. So it's going to be a hit and stick for the win. They better do that housekeeping and don't ever want that to pick. That would be terrible.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Korey Dropkin ready for his final in the extra. Needs to hit and stay to move on to the B division. Here in Sault Ste.Marie. Final start of the 9th on the way. Fenner just a heavy clean. Now trying to hold it to keep it around. Hold it to keep it around. You got to keep it around. Keep it around. Oh, you don't want to roll out. And you do. And we're going to go to an extra, and it's super bonus curling here on Curling Stadium. Yeah. We'll be back from Sault Ste. Marie right after this. So welcome back. It's the 10th end here of the Henderson Medal Fall Classic presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. That's right. Don't adjust your screens. It is the 10th end. We are playing an extra end because unfortunately on a hit and stick attempt, Korey Dropkin made the takeout but rolled out of the house. So he retains the hammer here in end number 10. And Jim, in all your years of curling, have you ever done this?
I don't. I was just saying, I don't think I have. I think it's, going way back to junior perhaps, but I don't think I've ever played a double extra hand. It's not really, really, really uncommon at the levels that I played at, but certainly here, you don't see it very often.
And you were mentioning, especially because of the new rules that are in play now.
Well, exactly, yeah, because there's usually just more rocks around than you can get rid of, so it turns into a little bit more of a match or chess match and whatever. But here's a better effort by Adam Casey. 2 much better rocks than he threw in the last end, so that's going to force Korey to not be able to do much with them.
Yeah, so now we do have those double centers up. Dropkin with one on the forefoot, and game on.
Korey will go in the house, and then you'll probably see Brad come right in on top, and then some peels will start to happen. So
I'll tell you how rare this is in terms of curling, or at least curling stadium history. Our scoreboard software is not set up to accept this.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So don't adjust your monitors. Don't bang on your vertical hold. It is the 10th end. And by the way, I don't see a 9 in the scoreboard either. So
yeah,
they weren't ready for it here either.
Adam Casey doing what he's done all night, sweep. He's done a lot of sweeping tonight, Adam has.
Yeah. Adam's trying to prove you wrong that skips can't sweep.
Yeah. I think they would have got getting a hair more curl out of that one. But
so now we're going to look to open these up, and both teams receive, once again, their full allotment of time for this double extra.
Yeah.
Just a straight peel there. So Gushue electing to come on in at this point.
Yeah, an interesting call too. It's some people might figure, well, he should be going another guard up here, but he's also thinking that if he can get into the back there, it's probably not lined up for Dropkin to run any kind of slashes at it. So it might be an opportunity that he won't have later.
Yeah, decidedly early to be jumping in the pool here, but he decided the time is now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Not getting past anything though. Yeah, that's not what you wanted.
No.
Now, mind you, you are playing 10 ends now, and you had full practices and everything, so the ice is probably tightening up just a touch.
Yeah, quite possible. Yeah, it's yeah, you wouldn't expect Brett or Jeff to miss a shot by that much. That was, for the shot that was called, that was a big difference. So I think it's something definitely happened with that one.
And they have played both extras towards the glass
Yeah,
for what it's worth.
I always thought in the bond spills, why not do that? Like, people come to watch the games and then you play the extra end away. And I understand a little bit of the concept of that, but I just don't agree with it, I guess.
Oh, we tell our participants that we want it to be thrown back to the warm room.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to screw up my schedule, you're going to entertain my guests at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. I assume each team gets one timeout in the extra ends, or in the in the extra ends. I think that's the way they usually do it.
That is the standard practice. I've had the pleasure of timing a few competitive events.
Should.
By the way, thank you to anyone who ever does time at a bonspiel. It is not as easy as it looks. You have to stay really focused. You can't even think about the strategy. So the guard's going to come up here again from Brad Gushue. Hey, there we go. We figured it out. 10th end. Our crack technical team. There's nothing that we can't do. This guard comes on up and maybe overcurled just a hair, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Going to give Korey an opportunity to move a lot of granite. And here comes Ste.Marie trying to do just that. The big heater coming down the middle. Slips past the one in the rings. It's going to just remove the single one. And another guard's going to come up from Team Gushue.
Yeah, and I would agree with your earlier comment that I think these guards are just coming just a little bit tight. I think I might like to be another couple feet out just to prevent any kind of a double or triple or whatever at this point. So not a long way out, just a little bit.
It goes back to that draw attempt being light. I mean, it's if you're going to call that shot and make that commitment to go in, you have to get there.
Yeah. That's a little bit better.
Yeah, this will likely just be a straight peel. No thought of even trying to catch something on the way by.
No.
Ste.Marie fires this away. Might get a little bonus. Ooh, really? A lot closer than I thought that would be.
Yeah.
So now we're down to skip rocks. How do you build this from here, buddy?
Well, Brad's got to go in now. He's got to go right in on top of the yellow and just see what Korey does with his. And we've seen him. He's basically the shot he made to send this game the way it is, and I think he'll be really close on this and puts it in there. It'll be tough for Korey to get it out.
Brad Gushue with his first and the second extra. This is going to come around. I think it needs to find the brakes. Don't want to move rock too much. Pretty good indeed.
Yeah,
Does
pretty
look
darn
like the
good shot. Yeah. You can see here, right? The boys are just kind of keeping it clean and making sure nothing happens to it because the weight's just perfect. And he seals it on there pretty good. I might have been looking for another inch of curl, but that's pretty darn good.
Now it does look like the pinhole is available. Maybe we can get the dead overhead. Yeah, you can get right to the pin. Do you go there now, or do you try to make hay and move a lot and open it up?
No, I'm going there right now. I think it's I don't know that you can get any more than just those top two out or the back yellow out. I don't know if the green will go or not, but you're not going to get rid of everything. And I don't really want to let Gushue throw that same shot again. Looks like he's playing kind of an in between shot. Probably I don't know, a hacker's board weight shot, maybe. It doesn't have a ton of ice. If he can get right to the nose with this weight, even, he'll be okay. He's just going to end up doing the same thing as making a perfect freeze.
I guess probably a little more margin of error going this route.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But if you hit, the problem with this that I see is if he rolls off just even a little tiny bit, Brad might be able to put the next one in a place that's impossible for him to get it out. So he's not throwing it very hard. So maybe it's maybe they just approach the shot different than. I mean, Gushue got to here with ice out in the middle of the 12-foot.
They're trying to hold it. This is not going to get there. This is going to over curl. And it does wreck and open things up. So you're in a pickle now if you're Korey Dropkin, I would think. And timeout is called by Team Gushue.
Yeah, it's going to take a minute for them to sort this one out, figure out what's the best option here. This is a tough one because if he moves that top one and just sits like he just indicated, just maybe a little tap and roll to the center line, Korey can probably throw the double because then he can throw it hard enough that he can probably get both greens going. Can't really play the double and the two yellows. You could, but you're going to leave the back one wide open. So I think he's forced into playing some kind of a draw here. Could come down, freeze right to his own, but I think the yellow is in the way enough that you might just set up a fairly easy double, to be honest. And the way the ice curls on the intern side, I'm not sure if you can quite get there. So he's going to throw like a top 4-foot guard and let Korey play probably what amounts to an out-turn tap on the yellow.
So line shot just behind the pinhole is Brad Gushue trying to find a way to cement this steal to win in the double extra. Brad Gushue, the veteran from St. John's. With this final in the 10th. Working hard to hold the line. You want to be in just the right spot. Just want to get a little nuzzle off of that and come all the way up to cover it up. And is that good enough?
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what he called. I mean, it does leave Korey, I think, a reasonably makeable shot, assuming, like you say, assuming we're right on the fact that if he just comes up against the green one, that he would be shot and would cover a little bit of the hole. But it doesn't look like they think that's the case, though, Dave. because that
AC
would seem like
timeout is
Jacques' choice, I think.
absolutely. We'll see how tight we can get to this one. Move, Andrew.
Yeah,
I mean,
the construction equipment sign across there makes it a little bit tougher to see where the hole would
he
be.
must think that the raise on the yellow is no good. And
Yeah,
that he has to move all these rocks.
yeah,
So we're going to see a missile coming here from Korey.
yeah. The good thing for Korey is they don't both have to necessarily go out. They have to get one of them out, but just because it's going to automatically get one, but they can at least bounce to the sides, and something might stay, but he still might end up with shot rock because you got lots of yellow ones.
So Korey Dropkin with the final stone in the double extra. Gonna have to remove this one off the button, and he's gonna need a ton of weight to do it. On the way, trying to hold the line. Can't overcurl. If you overcurl, it's gonna jam all day. Oh, and it does, and it's a win for Brad Gushue and a steal of one. And they will defeat Korey Dropkin by a score of 5-4 in a double extra end. And Jim, what a match we just got to see.
Yeah, that was a wild and woolly one. It was certainly a very good curling game. A lot of really good shots, and by both teams and both skips in particular, I thought played tremendously. Just a treat to watch that one, even if we had to go 12 ends or 10 ends to watch it. So, yeah, good effort by both teams, but Gushue's got to be a little relieved to be staying in the B side. So.
Absolutely. I mean, that was just a game of shot making by both squads and a real treat. And we are thrilled that you were able to join us here on Curling Stadium. And stay tuned. We have lots of action for you the rest of the weekend here from the Henderson Meadow Fall Classic, presented by Kioti Tractors of Ontario. But for right now, for Jim Nix, Ryan Jakes the Snake, I'm Dave Schmel. We thank you so much for watching us. Have a good night.